When you got into that car, were you either drunk, impaired, or intoxicated?
Absolutely not.
Polo mogul John Goodman takes the stand in his own defense. We have live team coverage as we break down his testimony. Good evening. I'm Kelly Dunn, in for Shannon Kate.
And I'm Michael Williams. A surprise move as John Goodman, in his own words, describes the night when his Bentley crashed into the car driven by Scott Wilson, killing the 23-year-old.
News Channel 5's Jay Cashmere is leading our team coverage and is live outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse with what Goodman said on the stand. Jay?
Michael Kelly, John Goodman spent about 2.5 hours testifying today on his own behalf. It was a huge bombshell that dropped earlier this morning that he would in fact testify, and the best witness for the jurors, quite frankly, because no better person to describe the night than John Goodman himself, and that's exactly what John Goodman did for 2.5 hours today. He described in detail what happened on the night of February 11, 2010. He basically went through the scene from start to finish. He says he went to the Players Club that night. He left the Players Club, was not intoxicated. He drove down 120th Avenue. As he approached the stop sign, he applied the brakes to his Bentley. He said something went wrong, and that's the last thing that he remembers. He said after that he was disoriented, and following that he was really grilled on exactly what happened. And quite frankly, he says it was a series of disorientation for the rest of the night. Now, this was huge testimony today. The defense opened up with some questioning. Then Ellen Roberts, who was a pit bull in there today, cross-examined him. Part of the cross-examination today, part of the testimony today involved a detailing of the 911 call that John Goodman made 54 minutes after the crash occurred. Let's listen in to part of that testimony.
Why not call 911?
Because I didn't think there was, I don't know, it didn't occur to me. I didn't think there was anybody hurt.
Turned on your car and left the Players.
John Goodman says after he went through that stop sign and he lost memory there, he says he knew he hit something. He just did not know what. He said he did everything he could to try and find it. And thus, we have his testimony today complete. 2.5 hours. My colleague Alex Sands was covering today's court proceedings, the very important details of this testimony from John Goodman himself. He joins me live from the other side of the Palm Beach County Courthouse with more details on what John Goodman had to say. Alex.
You know, Jay, from that malfunctioning car to drinking after the crash, so much going on here these past several days, so many turns in this case, but the biggest one, of course, coming today with John Goodman taking the stand before the lunch hour in his defense. And the defense wasting no time, getting right to it, trying to get a better sense of just how much he was drinking and when.
That night at the Players Club, did you ever have a drink called an Irish car bomb?
Absolutely not.
When you got into that car, were you either drunk, impaired, or intoxicated?
Absolutely not.
Why did you say you were at the stop sign, I stopped and pulled out in front?
I don't know why I said that. I guess that's what I thought I had done. I don't know. Well, I knew I'd hit something. I was hurt, and I'd been, you know, I was injured. I'd been knocked out. I know I'd hit something. I just didn't know what.
Part of the defense had been that John Goodman had that concussion after the crash, and so as it's done every day this week, prosecutors picked that testimony apart.
You walked all the way down the road back and forth zigzagging, but you never went over and looked in the canal.
I don't know if I looked in the canal or not. I just thought that
You knew that car was in there, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
Where else was it? Where else could it have been?
I have no idea. I looked around as hard as I could. I did the best I could do, and if I had known there was a car in there, I would have gone in and tried to help whoever was in there.
What, did it just disappear? Is that what you thought?
I had no idea.
And so as this trial enters its final hours, that question is here now, Jay. Just how much influence does John Goodman's testimony have on this jury? Deliberations, they should begin tomorrow afternoon. Back to you.
And Alex, what can we expect tomorrow now that John Goodman's testimony is over and for the remainder of this trial?
Somewhat of a departure, Jay, beginning at 8:15 tomorrow, just a bit early. The jury is being charged with the instructions, what they have to consider while deliberating this case. Tomorrow, the prosecution continues its rebuttal. Hearing from an engineer there say will counter the claim to the car malfunction. From there, closing arguments could last 2.5 hours, a lunch break, and then deliberations beginning shortly after that.
Big full day. Alex Sands, thank you very much, covering this court case from the other side of the Palm Beach County Courthouse.